What is up, guys? This is Alex from First Figures.
Hey everyone, this is Chuckles.
Now check it out, guys. What we have over here is Guts Exclusive. This is now finally done, the production piece. We just got it in-house. And this is going to be the first time we do these kind of videos, but we're going to basically show you guys how you construct this piece together. Because this one's actually pretty complicated, but we should do this for all our products moving forwards. So what we're going to do is completely start from how it comes out and how you build it up, and we'll be showing you that right now. Okay, so here we have basically these are all the parts that are out of the box. So why don't we have a look at what they all are, so then we can then figure out how we're going to put them all together. So Chocks, you're holding...
Yep, I'm holding the cape. So everything here on the table have just been taken out of the styrofoam.
Yeah, so we have the exclusive base.
Yep.
We have the spirits over here. That's a separate piece.
Yep.
We have the chain holder on the back.
Yep.
We have the body itself, 3 heads. This is the exclusive version. We have this piece over here, which is a pouch, a part of the ending of the bandages on the wrap of the sword, and of course the sword itself.
That's right.
So the process of actually putting together is actually it's quite specific, and so these are some of the tips that you should be looking into. Well, I would say what? Go with this first, then
I would say go with that first.
Okay, so just construct that. You see, you've got two pegs, one here for the electricity, the wiring to go in there, an actual just a normal peg, and we have 2 pegs over here.
Yep, there's 2 holes. So the long version goes on the back, back hole, and the electrical plug goes into the front one.
Right. So once you find that, you should be able to just slot that in.
Yep, just make sure this is tight.
Yeah.
And guys, before you assemble anything, make sure the battery is actually being placed inside the actual base itself. So you don't want to take them all out to put the battery in. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's the first piece.
The next part is the body itself. Now you can see the construction on this is pretty much one piece with regards to the arms, the legs, all that sort of stuff. Now we have a peg that goes all the way down here to give it some stability, and we have another peg here just for extra support. Now if you come and look at the actual base, you find the 2 locations over here. Now this is going to be quite a snug fit, and the reason is because we need to make sure it maintains its pose, because this whole thing is very, very heavy. So
the long peg goes at the top hole, and the shorter peg goes into the bottom hole.
So this is going to be a little bit tight. Let's make sure you get that, trying to go back straight, vertically straight.
Yeah, can you get in there?
How about I turn this way around?
Right.
Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. Let's move that in there. We've got that location, and then give it a push. Give it a push. All right, there you go. That's nice and flush.
Okay.
Let's go that way to it. Okay. Cool, so far so good. Now the next thing is this piece over here. I strongly recommend you use this piece over here. Now turn this around, as you said.
So on the back of Guts' belt there's actually 2 little holes.
And then you have this 2 little pegs over here.
These little prongs, yeah?
Prongs, yeah.
So
go in there, boom.
There you go, straightforward, that goes into that hole there. Just make sure this is always in there.
Okay. So the next part is, and this is going to be the most tricky part for sure, is the cape onto the actual piece itself. Now all of these pieces are assembled before they get disassembled and then sent across to you guys, to your collection. This is definitely the hardest part, so let's have a look at what we're dealing with. First of all, the cape has a nice weight to it, and we have these 2 pegs over here. Now these are going to be key to getting it in. Now if you look over here, and you can see that there are some sockets over here where we have actually metal sockets in there where it's like a sleeve where the pegs will actually go into. So Chocks, why don't you just come around over here and look to put that in. If you can get somebody else to help you as well, that would be really, really useful.
All right guys, so basically the cape should go in like this. All right, so the cape swerves around, and you can see the easiest way to identify is make sure the long one goes into this left shoulder and the shorter one goes into the right shoulder. Okay, so
and have somebody just grip again
onto the actual leg and the base itself, just to give us extra stability. Try not to put too much force going down, but make sure that the pegs are aligned with the.
And you can really see it from this angle.
Yep. And then try and just kind of like slightly wiggle it. It may be a little bit tough in the beginning because there might be some kind of slight paint residue built up in the holes, but maybe just a slight push down like so, and then we'll slide in. Once the pole is actually smooth, with the actual socket itself, it will slide in pretty much straight easily.
And then once you've done that, just make sure that the foot is again nicely flush against the base, just to make sure in case you've been putting pressure on it that it doesn't fall over, come out at all. All right, so the next thing, well, I mean, right now then it's a little bit sort of interchangeable. You can do what you want. This is the sword. Actually, if we come over here for a second, you can see that the sword over here has a little slight bit that comes out right there. Okay. Now, if you actually look at the actual sword itself, one key way is that this is the one that's facing forwards, and that this connection point over here is actually facing backwards. But another way to check is if you actually look inside, you'll see that this area is the area over here that has been is going to take into account this extra part over here. It's like the peg that stops it. So
so it matches. It's like the male and the female.
Right.
So it will match with each other. And then once you put this sword into the actual peg hole, is it in there? I can't see from this angle. Just make sure.
Yeah, hold on. It's perfectly. Once you make sure it gets perfectly in place, it should just be able to slide straight in.
There it is. So you can see that this and this will be flush fit.
Then you can see that. That's cool. And as I said, the way to do it is, of course, this is facing the front ways, and on the back is where that little that sort of connection point is. Okay, so from there you can then you have
this pouch.
Yeah, one of these pouches. Now that
So
will
just turn this around.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. So
Right there.
A little peg hole there. These have a magnet, so they're magnetized and they'll fit in there.
Lemon squeezy. Yeah.
And then maybe one more, the other one as well?
Yes, so this is the end of the sword hilt, and that faces backwards. It's got a little tiny magnet over there. And that just slots in. Where's it gone? Hiding there somewhere. Right there. Okay?
Again, that's also magnetized.
Yeah. And then here you have, this is the exclusive version, you have one of the 3 heads. You can just slot that in like that. So you have one there, another one, take that off there, that can go in there, and one more. Cool. Now, if we have a look at the actual electronics, you push the button on the back, and that simply is, hold on, plugged in properly. Okay. So there you can see everything is already on. You have all the lights in here going throughout the whole piece. That's on.
So this is the always on mode, guys. So this room is lit up, so it's not really giving off the best effect, but you can actually see the lights throughout all these different parts.
And if I push it one more time, it's the animated mode, so you can see the way that this is moving around over here, and then you have the lights going through the different, swirling around Guts himself, so you can see that. And one more time, it's just going to be the purely off mode. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Chox, is there anything else you want to point out before this one's done?
That is it, really, guys. So the actual package itself will come with a USB cable, and a battery as well. So that will be part of the actual package for the exclusive version.
The key for this, as I said, is that, if we just go over it one more time, that when you put this in, it's going to be quite tough to put in. That's the figure onto the actual base itself.
The actual leg part.
Yeah. Once it goes in, make sure that you put the chain
in first.
The chain, yeah, that's right.
Before the cape.
That's right. So you can see it from this angle that the chain over here goes in before the cape, and leave this magnetic part for the end.
Yeah.
And as I said, the most difficult part you're going to find, and just try not to force it, is going to be the cape. But once it goes in, you'll find it will slot in very nicely and pretty smoothly. So that should be okay.
So start off with the base, obviously battery in first, start off with the base. Then you put the body in. Then you follow with the chain. And then after that, you put the cape on. And then at the end, after the cape, you put the actual pouch and the ribbon. And then last but not least, you start
putting in the headset, whatever you want. Yeah.
That's right.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.